Lovely to see you all at this, our first panel for the opening celebrations of the 5th Asia Pacific Triennial of Contemporary Art. What a day it has been, and there's more to come yet. This particular panel is called The Political Dimension. My name is Kate Ravenswood. I'll be the chair of the panel, and we are very fortunate to be joined today by 3 of the APT5 artists. Suti Kunavich Chayanon, Eko Nugroho, and Paiman. Thank you so much for coming. Now, today we'll be talking a little bit about the political. Now, you may have noticed in your APT5 catalogue, for those of you who've been fortunate enough to grab one, that we have a very lovely essay by Ross Gibson, the Professor of New Media at UTS, who's talking a great deal about the political dimension. And he makes this very lovely argument for the transformative power of political art. And interestingly, he looks at the work in the APT5 and says that what he sees within that is that when we're looking at work that avoids the kind of self-righteousness or the smugness that is sometimes associated, rightly or wrongly, with that genre. And what we see is a more generous and generative practice, as he calls it. To quote that particular essay, he says, "It's work that gives rather than accuses." And I think in looking at the work of these 3 artists that we're speaking with today, that's an exceptionally important point. Now, I'm going to begin our panel, I'll just give you a little idea of how it's going to work, by introducing each of the artists to you separately, and then I'm going to ask each of them to speak for about 10 minutes on some of those aspects of the political in their work that they find so interesting. Now, at the end of that time, I'm just going to do a very quick summary and then throw it open to the floor for your questions and your comments. So we'll begin by talking to Suti, and I'll just give you a brief biog of Suti's work. Its work is, of course, over in GOMA. In reflecting on the rapid social, economic and political changes that have affected Thailand since the 1990s, Suti's artworks have employed a wide variety of elements. These range from inflatable latex creatures in the shape of the national symbols of the tiger, buffalo and elephant, which viewers blow and inflate, to intricately carved wooden desks in a schoolroom, inscribed with images and symbols that reflect Thai history and culture. Audience participation is central to the construction of meaning in his sculptures and installation works, as is the questioning of beliefs and value systems. Many of his works reference local and rural crafts or traditions to engage the viewer in a playful, ironic probing of history and truth. Since 1986, Suti has exhibited widely in Thailand, Korea, Australia, Japan, the United States, the Netherlands and the United Kingdom. Major exhibitions include a solo show at the Thomson Gallery, Bangkok in 2005, Global Sense of Thailand in Stockholm in 2000, and Next Move, Contemporary Art from Thailand, Singapore in 2003. He currently teaches in the Art Theory Department of Silpakorn University in Bangkok. So if I could ask you to welcome Suti. If you'd just like to discuss your practice, Suti.
All right. Thank you, Kate. Good afternoon. It's good to be here at the APT5. I came to see the first APT 15 years ago, right? And so happy to be in the 5th. I guess that all of you could be familiar with my work already at the GOMA, the carving table and the rubbing stuff, right? I would like to refer to my previous work. This table or desk series can be traced back to the year 2000. The first series was history class ถนนราชดำเนิน or ราชดำเนิน Road. is this series is about modern Thai political history. It was focused on the missing histories which have not been taught in school. So there are 14 desks, and it's about 14 events that is, as I said, it's not been taught in school. And, or some are taught in school, but in different version. Because the historian or the official historian or the government, they have an idea of history, and they write their own version. So something is missing, and something is distorted from the fact. So I make a research and put them all together in this work. So I carved 14 days, 14 events for people to learn and to print their own history book. So in this work, missing or forgotten histories are appearing by rubbing. So my first intention is I want people to learn and memorize what they are not taught in schools, and people can discover the missing histories in this work, right? But for the recent work, Stereotype Thailand, for me, stereotype type refer to typing or printing. As the work you can print yourself, right? And the second meaning, stereotype, something which is banal or cliche. So the work is a comment on Thai stereotype and cliche, and the mass production on thought and images. And the work is more playful than the first one. So the first one is quite serious, but this one is more playful. And this one also criticized Thai education system, that students have to memorize and believe what teachers teach in classes. So in this work, the rubbing is like the students are very passive. They just copy what is on the desk, right? But what happened is people who participate in the work, they improvise. This table with another table, so they're making their own images. So it's quite, I think people, they shift from my original idea, which is okay. Right. What else? About history. History and politics. It is my belief that the one who control the memory, control the past, the social memory of the society, can control the future. And that's why the authority can control society by writing history. So my work, I would like to write my own history version of my own. So this is some idea behind my work. I think that's all for for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Suti. Eko Nugroho is a younger member of the artistic and intellectual community that centres on the vibrant central Java city of Yogyakarta in Indonesia. He works in diverse media, creating paintings, murals, videos, handmade zines with collage and drawing, and he also collaborates with local machinists to produce beautiful embroideries. Nugroho's grasp of a range of graphic techniques and technologies is impressive, but also typical of Indonesia's media-rich and politically savvy young artists. Indonesians live in a climate that has been politically charged for decades, but it has also become increasingly open and dynamic since the democratic reforms of the past decade. His zine, Diseased Tumour, I do love that particular rendition, that particular title, has been produced since 2000 with the assistance of a loose collective of friends and addresses many topical issues. It is also extremely funny and personal. Still studying at Yogyakarta's Indonesian Art Institute, Eko Nugroho has participated in numerous international exhibitions, including Have We Met at the Japan Foundation, Tokyo 2004, and Shadows Contemporary Art from Southeast Asia in Berlin 2005, where he created a mural with a group of local young people, much as he did here for APT5. I'd like you to make welcome Eko Nugroho.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Some short story about beside my wall. And everything becoming after 1998 is a big reformation in Indonesia. And all the thing is changing, and now it's changing more and more. And I think it's could be better, but it also could be wild. And we're still living in a process during that day, and we wish that everything's getting better. All the things what I'm doing in all my works, yeah, everybody say that there's a lot of things I'm to do, but I'm quite difficult to decide which one I like to choose till the end of my day. But I want to tell you about something that kind of I'm showing in just in the APT5 at this moment. Reason why I'm making kind of embroidery. Since Reformation, there is a lot of people getting jobless, and it's a good thing that people can get involved working in the government department. And one thing, embroidery is a different class in your uniform. Like every department have a different sign in uniform, and they're using embroidery. And as big embroidery sign, there's a different position as well. And the funny thing that they're using all the uniform go to the shopping mall and go to the bioscope during that day, and yeah, just want to make a difference, kind of different with another people, because a lot of parents say that you must get a job in the government because of the pension. Yeah, that's the point. And that's why then I make a kind of how is it, like offer about the embroidery. That's then I put the embroidery is something like something else that in my work. And also embroidery in Indonesia is kind of traditional, cultural, and then much more in West Java and Sumatra. And especially there is in Sumatra, there is special different embroidery in each city between Padang, Palembang, and so on. And there is interesting area in the West Java. It's called Tasikmalaya, where it's a dry area and no one can is working as a farmer because the land is very dry, and mostly all the people doing embroidery, men and women, and the woman doing the soft embroidery and only for the softly things and the pretty things, and the men doing for the high quantity, just do it like that. And they go over spread out in Indonesia. They go to all in Jakarta, Jogja, and every big city, and they're doing embroidery. That's why it's something interesting between the place and my work, because they never know, but they can make it embroidery as big as what I'm doing. But I say that it's something like it's another thinking about people, the way they look about the embroidery as a status, like what I've seen. And then the other one is about my mural. And this time I make my big mural, and it is the biggest mural I ever done. And it's interesting because actually I like doing some installation mural, but the basic from the mural is something instant, like the way that the mural is just put there and I leave it, and then just kind of everybody can touch it on everything, just a public things. And the idea from this mural is coming from this Brisbane. I was visiting Brisbane for 6 weeks during that mural, but I'm spending 1 week to know about Australian culture. It is my first time to Australia, and then I know about from the story from the people, and from a lot of people saying about this Brisbane and city, and yeah, and I get idea about this mural, and then it's all about the future of the city. That's, you can see the big scary head is a future. As a future, it could be scary for you, it could be nice, could be something that you never expect. That's something, just an image, just a symbol. But also there's a dying Australian in the desert. Like, yeah, it's a lot of problem with you. Yeah, yeah, I know that's it. I don't know. It's just I'm coming from different culture, and I just come and I know about the short story in 1 week from TV and a friend, and about the Australia and Aboriginal, something like that. And then yeah, it's just my new experience. And then I just put on the wall, then just incidental, and then just make it, and I don't thinking too much about everything. Then yeah, there's an image there. It's happened. Yeah, actually I do many things, and also an animation under the how you call it, elevator. And there is another story about me and Australia people, because there is a friend of mine. He is Jeremy Hine. He is an artist as well, helping me doing that mural. It's also Doug here. It's a friend of mine helping the mural, and but he was passed away just a couple of days ago, hit by bus. But actually, and then it's another experience between me and him, and a relationship as a friend, and something different because yeah, we have a different culture and different society situation, and then yeah, and then it's just something for me, and then I just put an animation, and we work together. It was we make this discussion, some story about the mural, and he was making the animation, and I'm doing the image. So I think that's I want to say at this time now, but yeah.
Thank you, Echo. Azizan Rahman Paiman plays with social mores and politics in his witty and well-informed art. Immersed in contemporary Malaysian life, his works make sly comments and witty asides, featuring well-known personalities in the guise of flying creatures swooping about the skies. A large number of drawings from the series entitled The Code are shown here in APT5. It portrays politicians and others speaking in typed exchanges that reveal the humour of everyday life as well as the frailties of its most prominent participants. The texts are quotations from newspapers, magazines and other media sources and are familiar to Malaysians. Vivid and funny, these pointed commentaries also call on mythical beings from an earlier period in Southeast Asian life, in a way that shows that topical issues and controversial events are often so much like earlier stories. Educated in both Malaysia and the United Kingdom, Paiman was awarded an MA in Fine Art from Manchester Metropolitan University in 2001. Previously, he was a junior curator at the National Art Gallery, Kuala Lumpur, and is currently a lecturer in the Faculty of Art and Design at the University Technology Mara in Perak, in northern Malaysia. He has exhibited widely since 1991 in both solo and group shows, including the first Fukuoka Asian Art Triennial 1999 Japan, where he was also artist in residence. Please make him welcome.
Good. Might be good afternoon. How are you? Actually, I'm a practicing person that I don't like to speak in the public, but for this show, I would like to share with you my experience of my journey of art. I'm practicing my art since 1991, and I had started with lots of discipline, such as painting, installation, video, photography, performance, and also drawing. For the particular thing that on 2005, I came back from Manchester during 2001, and then I don't have a big shows. Then I make a decision with my friend that sometimes I feel exhausted to do my installation works. So I make a decision with my friend to make a show, which the title of the show is Lightweight versus Heavyweight. When people see the poster of the show, they thought so it's a street fighting, because my friend is big and I'm not too big enough. So that's it. Start for the show, which for me the concept of lightweight heavyweight, which we draw on the paper, is really light, but the issue in the paper is really heavyweight issue. So the images that I draw is come from nowhere, but it's come from my brain and the psychomotor of my hands to draw what I want to draw. And I like to see, I like history, especially social history, about politics, about a scholar to say what they say, and then I like to quote it, and I just pump it the quotes on my image. So the fragment of the work suddenly merge in between the image and the quotes. But when the work hang on the wall, belongs to the public, and public interpretation say that my work is talking about politics. So that's it. That is all about my works. Thank you.
Okay, well, we've obviously heard of some rather different aspects of looking at the political, but I suppose if we had to think about it just before we throw it open to questions, some of the things that we might like to consider are the way in which artists on this panel work in participatory ways, with community work, the way in which there is often a very ambivalent relationship to language, a distrust, if you like, of words and text. There are certainly some grotesque parodies, but I think if I had to draw all of them together, I might say that there is something of the anarchic humour at bay, at the heart of this, the way in which artists use humour to parody the political. Okay, do we have questions for the artists? We do have roving mics. I've got heaps of them if you don't. Questions, anyone? If you have a question.
Oh, hi. Echo, is that right? Yeah. Your work, it said something about that it was influenced by Robert Crumb, and I was wondering where you'd seen his work and if there are any other underground cartoonists, because I thought about Bill Griffiths, but no one seems to remember him, but as an influence.
I was a fan of Robert Crumb. Actually, I do some several books project in Jogja, and there's a spirit because of underground things. But underground is coming from the a lot of music, punk music doing, and they have a spirit like doing something in different, not unusual place. And I'm doing that on the books, and just like collecting all the people want to create, and then I just publishing, and then I just make compilation by photocopy machine, and I'm just producing only 150 copies, and everybody can copy this. It is just free to just pirate, just like my country. I mean, there is a lot of, I mean, not all the country, but it's something interesting between photocopy and pirate, because Jogja is a lot of university and a lot of students, and they couldn't believe, they couldn't buy this book because all the book is coming from Western and expensive, and they do collecting people. They buy one book and do photocopy, and they have so there's a lot of photocopy shop. That's an incredible place with a photocopy shop in Jogja. So there's another tourism thing. Besides that's the spirit of Robert Crumb. I like it. And I'm doing my own comic books with that. Photocopy, yeah, of course. Thank you.
Eiko, why did you choose diseased tumour for the name of the zine?
Oh yeah. It is really freaky, but you know, like that's why, and I'm like to make some text or say something like crazy people, like they're talking that you don't understand, but it's talking. Like a lot of my works just put on text, but sometimes it's mixing between Indonesia or English. But just I don't care. I don't get a vocabulary dictionary about English, but it's just a different meaning about the text. Like this is tomorrow, and it was people say it's horrible text, but if you say more and more, like you get the other meaning. I mean, like that's why the book I call the Daging Tumbuh or This Is Tomorrow. But I'm doing like again and again, and I'm producing, and I'm publishing, and again every 6 months, and then after all, there's people in a visual scene in Indonesia or in Jogja especially. They know This Is Tomorrow is a book comic, and they don't understand. If you're asking what is Daging Tumbuh, they say it's a book comic. It's that's why that the cat's image. Like I want to turn people to thinking the other way. I mean, with the text, with something that you say like, one day like I say that disobey is a goal, something like that. So disobey is a goal, just something like that. So that's it. There's something, just a text, but I like to play. Thank you.
I'd like to ask Sudi a question. We have an old relationship. This is a question about a recent situation. You were recently given the Red Art Prize from the Budi Banamyong Institute, and Budi Banamyong was the one of the people involved in the coup which overthrew absolute monarchy in 1932 and was for a brief period after 1945 the Prime Minister before being exiled to China, just to give you a background. What is the present possibility of art which has a political message, not just your particular kind of art, but art in general which refers to the political situation in Thailand? I'm thinking about the whole tendency of art since the 1970s, which has gone up and down in its political reference. I'm not thinking specifically about the coup. I'm thinking about the whole possibility for political art, because it seemed in the last 10 years there seemed to be more art which could have more explicit political reference. And I'm wondering how you see this tendency in Thailand.
During 1970s, there is a student uprising for democracy, and there's some underground artists whose work dealing with politics. And in the Thai art world, there's a fight between abstract artists and political artists. Right? They argue a lot. And for the mainstream art in Thailand at that time, they more accept abstraction as a fine art, right? But nowadays, I would say this kind of art which dealing with social issue is very fashionable and popular among young artists. Even in the national art competition, there's a lot of artwork dealing with this social issue, right? And some of them are dealing with politics, right? So nowadays there's a lot of this kind of narrative and political painting or art form in Thailand, even though it doesn't have a market there. I mean, people don't collect this kind of art. They more prefer beautiful art. They consider this kind of art is not for decoration, but it's popular among competition, right? And so right now I think it's quite open for artists to do their own work in all aspects as they want. So another word, I think we have freedom to express ourselves, even though the politics is not stable. Right? Is that answer the question? Yes.
We have some other questions.
It could be for any of the panelists, or maybe Paimon in particular. Is there work that you've produced that you feel you can show outside of your own country that you wouldn't be able to show inside of the country in which you live and work?
Thank you. I don't think so have a problem regarding about politics in Malaysia to show the works, but how we use the clause in the law that make my part is I'm very comfortable, because I'm not against the government, but I'm not saying that I'm support the opposition party, or a government. But for me, as a thinking person, and what I believe, I would like to do the work in harmony way. What I mean that the work that I'm doing, people sometimes will see what is it, because it's not really pretty on the wall. So when not pretty on the wall, I don't have a problem. And then in this situation, my works, I like to say about my works. My works is talking about what had passed through in history. So it depends to the political to see it in their way. But I like to quote like what Frank Sinatra had said, I do it my way. Thank you. Is it I answer your question?
Do we have any further questions? Oh, yes, a question here.
Apa khabar, Eka?
Oh, baik.
I would like to ask you, in connection with the political question, political art in Indonesia peaked around 1998 with Reformasi. You belong to the next generation. What is your attitude to that sort of political art? Is it past?
Sorry.
Has the art of Reformasi, the political art that was so popular at that time, is it still fashionable?
At this time, yeah, because it's surrounding our life. Like when you put on the TV, and there's in political situation and social problem. So it's yeah, it's just you can taste. I mean, if you don't want to see, but you can feel it, because people talking, people feeling something, just surrounding you. Even you know, choose to make something political in art. So your life is in the middle of situation. That's why till now, yeah. It's okay. Thank you.
I was about to say going, gone.
Echo, a lot of your work is collaborative. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your feelings, you know, the enjoyment of working with other people rather than working alone on a work that only you have put effort into?
Yeah. The one thing is more fun working with other people, and the other one is there is much more rich idea if you working with other people. That's why I do more like more working with another community and other people, because the point of my work is the process and the communication. Doesn't matter what the end of my work. It could be mural, animation, and everything. So the point is the process and the communication. That's why another people or another community is more important, or another situation or a place, something that's more important than processing of my work. Yeah. You're welcome.
Well, if that's all of the questions, I'd like you to thank our guests. I think it's absolutely amazing. We not only make them come and put the work on the wall, then we make them come and talk about it. And given the opportunity, we probably make them talk about it for 3 or 4 days. But thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Please thank you, Suti, Echo and Paiman.